Shalom, shalom, shalom. Peace and greetings. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Peace and greetings. I hope everybody's doing okay today. This one is froggish lepers or leapers. You know how they say if you feel froggish, leap? We're going to take that into consideration, the history of amphibians and genetics and eugenetics, and why from the beginning of time it's always been about genetics and what powers life. If you can remember Transformers, you understand the power life holds. Who gives life its energy that we may control all life force? Not the power of life, but the force that creates the power that says, this is what life is supposed to be. I want to take over that force, put him in a headlock, and put my will of force and power in life. And that way I can create my world, my thoughts, and what I like. And this is the mentality that came with the birth of consciousness. Sometimes it's not the mass who change. And I put this background in here for a reason. Because I've been asking for people to debunk these things. This is to show you that I'm a servant. That's all. I'm a servant. You can't pay me enough to do this. Y'all can't, in other words, my breath, my heartbeat, my soul is more valuable than what I could put on it and the I and you that you could put on it. Or I can do you better, or I know it's good for you, or I know your mental state, or I've been there before and I know what you mean. And how about this? How about I just shut the fuck up? They say wisdom is in the motherfucker who shuts the fuck up. At least he seems wise until he says something. But if you have permission and you're a servant, then the me and I becomes a we. I told you, I took the I and the me in me, instead of saying I'm perfect, I said we are perfect. When I took the M and the energy in E and flipped that M into a W, it became a we, a us program. A spiritual foundation, a universal lingo, language, logic, and a galactical force. And life seen and unseen, created and yet to be created, according to the original force in life. That within this life force, it says, let me put in a consciousness of my force and the power, and what I'm willing you to have, for you to have consciousness. So it wasn't that the Most High didn't want man and Eve to know some shit. It was man and the woman of the earth had some consciousness, and the woman of the earth named Lilith decided that she was going to use her sex. So this is where frog, sex, Isis, phallus, vagina, transgender, genocide, eugenetics, this is the seed of all your arguments since the dawn of consciousness was pushed into man's psyche. See, unless you've sat with wisdom, you would have never had an inkling of this fact. You wouldn't have an inkling of this fact. I'm open for all questions. I'll type something in for y'all, whoever comes on. Okay, I just need to put this on so I can see what y'all see as usual. Y'all know how I play. If I can't see what you're seeing, I don't want to do this. If I'm not seeing what you're seeing. Want to close caption? No caption? What's the caption? Caption. What's the caption? I'm trying to find my caption. Okay, there we go. Alright. Okay, now I can see what y'all seeing without messing with my other devices. And that way I can pull some other books real quick and to reference where I can read it off to you. In fact, I'm going to do y'all greater justice. I'm going to go into my Google Books. And we're going to visit some of them books I got in here. No, not Google Books. I'm going to my Adobe Books and put some things in here. But let's get started. A brother of mine on Facebook had brought up I got it. I got it. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna show y'all this. What's going on here, man? Oh my goodness. What the hell just happened? Okay, here we go. This is not what I was looking for, but I guess we can get into it, hopefully. The story of Osiris, Isis, and Horus, the Egyptian myth of creation. Alright? Now look at this. Let me minimize this. Oh my God. I don't want to make. Oh damn! What the hell just happened? If y'all could bear with me, I'm working on. Using a new device, and the buttons on it is weird to me right now. And so my brain, my hand and eye coordination is trying to get used to it. All right. Try to get this presentation to y'all. Why the devil has you arguing, but meanwhile he's, he's sticking a phallus in your booty hole. Now this has to go. This has everything to do with Egyptian Scientology, Christians, Islam. It's all born out of sex. Now, from Gad, the sky god. Gad, sky god. And if you ever notice, brothers and sisters, Hebrew Muslim, brothers and sisters, you always hear them cry, we don't have a sky daddy. But clearly says that Gad is a sky god. So Gad would be somebody's sky daddy if Gad is a sky god. So Saturn Nature and the House of Consciousness, y'all can close that house down. You do have a sky god in your belief system. Do you have nut? N-U-T, where the women today says, I just want to bust a nut. See, this is the Eve in the story of Adam and Eve. Check it out. I might have to switch. You know what? I have to go back to the conventional. This new age shit is too problematic. Give me a minute, I gotta switch mouses. This other shit's not getting it. I'd rather type my shit in and, all this Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. Fuck that. I'm going back to the basics. The more and more I try to get into technology, the more lazier I get. Alright. We back to speed. Here we go. We back to speed. Fuck that. Let me put my juice back. I'm gonna knock my shit over. Let's get back to speed. Put my computer back in front of me so I can type this in. Forget all that. No. Okay, now. Let's put this together. See him there? Hold up. Now look at this, y'all. It's gonna hurt their feelings. Frog, Adam and Eve. There's another piece I'm missing real quick. It was in my head. I'm trying to get together for y'all. And then we're gonna make some music with our mouse biz. Make the music with your mouth biz. Took the shit out these lies, right? I am your kinfolk, Jose Omar Brothers. How? Hey ya, hey ya. To all my indigenous brothers and sisters, good day. Blackfoot, Cherokee, Chickasaw, all the tribal families, the copperhead ones, good day. Go to the mountains of copper. How y'all doing? To the mountain of silver ones, the copper people with the silver hats, the wisdom ones. Good morning. To the gold mountains, the ones who's up in the pure state, the galactic, the universal overseers of our tribes and family of the planet. Thank you. Love you. There was something I heard was reflected to there's 12 days and 4 days are sacred. I was thinking about there was 12 days and 3 days are secret. And we're going to get into this froggish lepers or froggish leapers who leap straight into the fire. Because the premise of this video is I always heard, look at this frog boiling in this water. Don't know he's being cooked alive. And I see that for the black man and the black woman. Now, whatever you call yourself or associate yourself with that terminology, that's the boiling water. And according to Greco language, the anointed one represents fire. And serpents are fiery serpents. Frogs are not fiery, and snakes are not fiery, especially not tadpoles. But something about the fish and Joseph after Moses leaves Egypt. Why did they eat the fish? Because the fish had to be Nun/Joseph, because Moses and Joseph was in Egypt, and Nun means fish. So there was an ancient prophecy about this fish, but this fish ate Osiris's. You always say, when we say phallus, and you say, well, he's gay, and that's what the devil put in your head, they'll say phallus. The fish ate the what? Osiris's phallus. No. What happened was, Nun the fish disrupted Lucifer's plan of breeding a certain priest. So he ate the phallus, or what? The penis, or the sexual organ, or the organization, or the porthole, or that tree or seed of life that stopped it from coming on earth. That's the only way this makes sense for ISIS to go to a fish to go grab a penis or a phallus. And they come back and turn it into gold and bring back who? Osiris. How did Nun, who's walking with a Hebronite, a Hebronite, which is Moses. Aaron and Moses' father, Amram, was from the seed of Levi, who was called Hebronites, which means in Aramaic and Hebrew, the friend of the Most High Yah, which coincidentally is the same friend of Abraham. Remember, see, Amram, Aramaic, Abram, and then when we get to Egypt, now it's called Abraham. Abraham is the seed of ancient Egypt. We in there. But something happened that nobody wanted to be a part of that, so they had to eat the dick. Called oral sex, polygamy, all these gods. We have to keep you from being a friend of the Most High, Egypt, or Abraham. See, Abraham is Ham and Shem being obedient to the Most High. When you break it down, his name was Abram, which is Aram of his Ebionite. But the prophecy in his name, Abraham, says that this prophecy will go through Egypt, going towards what? Westward, in the book of Enoch. I showed y'all in the last video. Right? And as he's going westward, he has to go through Egypt. The seed has to go through Egypt. The fish has to go what? Down the Nile. But what's in the Nile? Check out how this alligator get in here. Check out how the alligator get into this. Because alligators eat fish. Check this out. I don't have to do that. I think I have it here already. Let me see. No, that's already there already. So now we'll use this. So we know there we go. So according to this screen, this confirms what I just said. If you see the mixing of genetics, I'll get to that. So it's not a coincidence that the phallus or the fish is going down the upper Nile, right? It's going down the river of life, the fertile crescent of life, literally. As it is in heaven and earth, and so should it be in between, right? So this is the heaven and earth. I get the heaven and earth story, but this is the in between. All right, you have to be that glue. You have to make it come together. You have to make it practical and make sense, according to the divine will of the Most High. So you get this now river effect because this is Adam, the man of the earth, and this is Eve, the man of the bone. So we look at it as a fish, right? This fish is producing in this through its earth or in its water, because there's water in this woman. The fish, the water. Okay, this is when you're the age of Aquarius, maybe. Don't quote me on that. But now, when you put the fish in the water and you send it to Egypt, and it becomes a Nile later or a Nile crocodile. And this was their plan to codify new humanity in the genetic sense. Codex Seraphinius. Because seraphim means fiery serpent. So if it's fire, this would be a spiritual genetic mixture. But what does that have to do with what I just said, right? Simple. Very simple. Because the sky god, who brings water, met who produces the earth, which is vagina, came 4 children. This is a different creation. Alright? Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys. So that's 2 sisters and 2 brothers. The original name for these twins was Cain and Abel and somebody else. And because Abel is dead, Set becomes the enemy. See, when you get the story, Cain killed his brother Abel. Osiris is Cain. Isis is Abel's twin sister. Set is the replacement of Abel. And Nephthys is Abel's twin sister. Cain's twin sister. So Nephthys is Cain's twin sister, and Isis was Abel's twin sister. So this is how Set became the enemy of Osiris and Isis. But why? Because Osiris was the oldest. And so became king, right? And married his sister, or Abel's sister, Isis. Nobody knows that story. Nobody teaches it, but I have that story, and by the grace of the Most High, we had the privilege to put it together to unravel that mystery and reveal it to the world, as I'm doing it to you right now. I will not make another video if this is not factual, or you cannot research it and link it up for yourself, and it's in practical use. And you can go Google it, or if you got a FBI pass, they will tell you this is where the ideology of there's reptiles on the planet, or reptilians. Well, guess what? This is where they come from. They'll come from outer space. There is no outer space Martians. I'm sorry. I almost bit that apple too, y'all. I almost thought that, yeah, this is a Martians from outer space, and we're going to need our version of Martians to kill these niggas because they're made from human DNA code. Look, this is the setup. Dear American citizens in the United States and all over the globe, we have some aliens. May God be with you, and may the gods be with you, and whoever your religion is, but we have to come together, and we're going to have to be gods of our gods, because we have these aliens coming to destroy our earth. But meanwhile, they've never left from another planet. They left from another soul that was so wicked and selfish that it created abominable life that was already on this planet. And only way it can hide its guilt is by saying that its creation came from actually outside a place that they themselves can't even leave. Go to. And that's why we have this flat earth thing people are arguing about. People are arguing about the moon. We go to the moon yet. People are arguing about the sun. You got people worried about how far the earth is from the sun, as if like if you got any closer, it's going to shake your hand and rub your booty. The last thing I want to know is how far the sun is, because if I knew and I found out it would get 100 miles closer, then obviously by the time I get a certain age, it'll be 500 more miles closer. I don't like that idea. Some ignorance is beautiful. some ignorance is beautiful. Like bestiality. I don't know what it's like to have sex with a hamster or a chicken. And I don't want to know. I'm not curious. But these people have sex with hamsters and chickens and crocodiles and all types of stuff. Because we got Gab, the gift of Gab. Then we want to go bust a nut. And then we become gods and goddesses over our 4 children. And we'll name our children Isis, Osiris, very rarely Set and Abel, but Nephthys and, all this other stuff. But the story goes, he married his sister. So obviously he wasn't no priest, so that means he had sex with his sister. Osiris was a good king and commanded the respect of all who lived on earth and the gods who dwelled in the nether world. So he ain't talking about the Most High, the God of life. He said the gods that dwell in the dark world. So now we got to go. Now we got to go further when we say we're the original Egyptians. The black man and Kemet, we are the original. Okay, well, according to this, you became married to your sister, Cain. You was a good king. You commanded respect of all who lived on earth. This is the original black man. People say, well, how do you know the original black man? It's right here. The story of Isis, Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Here's the creation. It's in the Codex Seraphanius. That's why it's called a encyclopedia. And it tells you all the germs it came with creating this type of person. That's what we have genealogy looking for and blood types and all that, because the crocodilian is coming back out of them. They're transforming now. They can't hide it no more. Alright? They can't hide it no more. I'm sorry, I didn't make this shit up. They can't hide it no more, man. So we have this Codex Seraphanius, so we understand this right here. Oh, hold up. I forgot something here. So we can see what this has to do with anything, right? So we see the bestiality in the black culture, Kemet culture. All right. For variety roles in culture appearing in folklore, fairy tales like the Bible, such as the Grimm story, The Frog Prince, in ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, fairy tales like the Bible, frog symbolizes fertility. Hold up. Frog symbolizes fertility. Seraphanus. Frog symbolizes what? Fertility. Gab, the gift of Gab. The busted what? He busted a nut. And he had what? 4 children. And they became gods. That's why the black man and black woman think he's a god. Why? Because he like fairy tales and shit like that. They don't know they boiling in water. Like the frogs that they is. Always want to get high, do drugs, and have sex. I just listened to a song 2 days ago. All she want to do is get high, do drugs, and have sex. Party, party, party. Let's get butt naked. Because you gonna die, niggas. So, when the brother brought this to my attention about Pepe the Frog, who was Ku Klux Klan, that's not a hateful thing. They're telling you your history. Thank you, Ku Klux Klan. They telling you what you've been doing. Look, when Pepe or Pepe soccer brand or Felipe or Pele Pepe is no different than Pele. As an internet meme concerning of a green anthropomorphic frog with a humanoid body, Pepe originated in 205 comic by Mark Ford called Boys Club. It became an internet meme when its popularity steadily grew across MySpace gear online. Feels good, man. Why? Because of this. They're just telling you that it feels good to be partly amphibious and partly human. And now they can actually drink blood and eat blood without feeling bad or have to hide it because they're watching people kill each other every day. So what they do, they go hang out at the blood bank, get their fresh blood, and go about their business. Frogs symbolize fertility, while in classical antiquity, the Greeks and Romans associated frogs with fertility, harmony, and deliciousness. Watch this coming together. Watch this come together. Throwing off sexual restraint, lewd character or behavior. It's a culture.